Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everyone. Yeah, Mel,
This is,
right. You're on mute.
sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am your host, Mel Vera. Welcome to Britannia's Tech Talk. Today's speaker is Zayi Reyes, and here in the Tech Talk, we like to create a space where we can connect innovation, entrepreneurship, and creativity all around the world with our ecosystem in Latin America to further exponential growth. So I'm very happy to introduce our speaker, as I mentioned, Zayi Reyes. She is the head of partnerships and marketing at Unstoppable Domains, a company building domains on the blockchain. She previously worked as the VP of marketing at MetaX. Zayi she has hands-on experience in the blockchain industry. She's knowledgeable in developing extensive social media and event strategies for blockchain startups, initiating go-to-market DApp campaigns, and translating crypto economic concepts into relatable consumer products. She's also a member of the Meta Gamma Delta, a DAO focusing on empowering women in the blockchain world. Zayi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, Mel. I'm so glad that you invited me. Mucho gusto verlos a todos, and I'm just happy to be here.
That's right, you're also Colombian, right?
Yes, Colombian through and through.
Zayi, could you tell us a little bit about Unstoppable Domains?
Yeah, definitely. So if it's okay, I can go ahead and share my screen and actually do a presentation on Unstoppable Domains. But just a brief background about myself. I've been in the blockchain space since 2016, and I've been working for a variety of different types of companies that are working from everything to advertising to domain space. I've also done a lot of freelance work on the side. And so it's been really interesting seeing how crypto and blockchain have innovated and have changed throughout the past few years. But it's been really fun being in the marketing side of things. I think crypto and blockchain are a very technical space. So it's exciting to be able to bring communications and marketing to the platform. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and talk about Unstoppable Domains and share what we're doing, and then we can go ahead and jump into how I market the products and any other questions that you might have, Mel.
Perfect, thank you.
Cool. You can see everything good?
Yes.
Great. Okay, cool. So yeah, Unstoppable Domains is a free speech technology for the world. We were founded in 2018, and we have investors from Tim Draper at Draper Associates and Boost to VC. And the main purpose of domains are to host decentralized websites and to make crypto payments easier. So what do we make? We make blockchain domains, and we offer decentralized hosting. I was one of the early hires, and since then we've now grown to 37 employees, and we are selling a bunch of domains, and it's been really exciting to see these grow from a concept to people actually using them for payments and to simplify their decentralized websites. So we act as a registry, a registrar, and a hosting company. You can think of us as like GoDaddy, but of the blockchain. We're trying to bring traditional internet and .coms over to the blockchain through our own extensions called .crypto and .zil. What is the difference about our blockchain domains in comparison to traditional domains? So our domains are actually self-custody solutions. When you buy a domain, you own it for life. When you buy a .com domain or a traditional domain, it's not actually yours. It's not something that you host in your wallet and you own. It still belongs to the entity that you bought it from, and they can still touch it, take it away, access it at any time. So with blockchain domains, it's different because you hold the power now. You now own the domain. It's yours. There are no renewal fees, and only you can access it. And they are also ERC 721 tokens. I know that this is maybe a little bit more technical, but what this means is that each domain on the back end has this ERC 721 code that makes each domain unique, and only you have that specific domain and nobody else has it. So it's a unique, non-fungible token, and it's something that is unique and yours for life. And so we actually have two domain extensions, .zil and .crypto. You've never seen these before, probably. You've probably seen .com, .net, .org. So this is a whole new world. This is the decentralized web. And when you go to our website, this is just a screenshot, but you could type in whatever you're looking for, just like you would when you're on like a GoDaddy or a site like that, and type the domain that you're looking for. I typed in finding money, and it came up with the .zil and the .crypto equivalent. So it's up to you which one you want to buy. .zil is on the Zilliqa blockchain, and .crypto is on the Ethereum blockchain. We received funding from both foundations, both the Zilliqa and the Ethereum foundations, to build both of these extensions, and that's kind of what inspired us. And then we've seen .crypto be slightly more popular. I think that the name itself really brings people in, and people love the idea of buying, your name .crypto. So Zayi.crypto, Melvera.crypto. I think that really is exciting for people to see and to try out. And we have over 300,000 domains registered so far. So we've been around since 2018. You can do the math. And we are definitely excited with the amount of growth that we have seen, and are constantly looking to continue growing daily. So we are a registrar, which means that you can go in and you can actually buy domains from us, set them up, and organize them within our platform. So this is just like a quick little video showing when you're in the platform that you can add cryptocurrency addresses to your domain so that people can send crypto to you easier. You can set up a decentralized website, which is this part that it's showing. You can add in the code right there, and then you can save your changes, and all of this goes onto the blockchain. So the first part that I want to highlight is the payment aspect. So if you saw, you can add a Bitcoin or Ethereum address. We actually support 70 plus different types of cryptocurrencies. And now when somebody goes to pay you, instead of having to type in your ETH address, for example, which could be 0x2589, that super long, complicated address, they no longer have to do that. They can just type in your domain.crypto. So this makes payments a lot easier. And then the second part, the decentralized websites, means that your payment address or your domain address is not only a payment gateway, but also a website as well. So as I touched on payment gateways, this is actually showing a domain, brad.crypto, within one of our wallets, one of our partner wallets. I believe this is Coinomi wallet. And if you look, you can type in brad.crypto, you can send him $2 in Bitcoin, and it sends immediately instead of having his long crypto address. So this makes payments a lot easier and simplifies the process. We're hoping that this will also onboard a lot of new users in the space. And then uncensorable websites. So this is the second piece I keep talking about. These websites are hosted on IPFS. If you're not familiar with IPFS, it stands for Interplanetary File Storage System. Please look it up. It's an amazing backend. It's completely decentralized, and it allows us to host these websites in a decentralized way so that only you have access to your site and only you can put it up or take it down using your private keys. Because like I said, these domains are stored in your wallet. They act as a token, and you are the only person that have access to them. And so this is actually an example of a decentralized website, brad.crypto. You can type it in, and you can see that he has this website, and this is all hosted on the blockchain. You do have to use an extension to view our sites, but in 2021, we're expecting some major browsers to support these natively so that you could type in brad.crypto the same way you would brad.com. So it's really exciting to see these websites launching, and we actually have over 20,000 decentralized websites launched so far. And if anybody is watching this and thinking, I want to launch my own website, I want to try this out, please do. We have an amazing support team that's online 24/7 to help you out if you run into any issues. It's a little like the early thousands, like when you were building a website maybe in like the early 2000s, and it was a little clunky and you did have to know a little bit of code to launch it. It's definitely a similar experience, but you have to think that this is a new internet. This is Web 3.0. So that's the internet that we're building today. And then advantages of blockchain domains: you can simplify payments, you can build uncensorable websites, there are no renewal fees, domains can be transferred in seconds. So if you want to sell your domain or you want to give it to somebody, you can do that instantly on the blockchain, and there's no escrow agents because, again, you're using a blockchain, so you don't have to have any intermediary third parties involved. And who should care about this? dApps, so make your app truly censorship resistant by building it on a .crypto or a .zil. Wallets, if you want to eliminate long addresses from your UI, this would be a really great way to have your users have a more seamless experience by having them have .crypto or .zil domains instead of crypto addresses. Browsers, this is the way to resolve decentralized websites. So we're hoping that browsers will support these domains natively very soon. And then businesses, own a domain for your future. So if you are, I know the Rutanio group has a lot of contracted workers, consultants. If you have your own business, this is a great way to get started building on the Web 3.0 and building on the future of decentralized web by owning your own domain, building your own business website, and hosting it through us. So if this all sounds super exciting, I would love to get in touch. Please email me at any time at zaji@unstoppabledomains.com. I hope that kind of made sense, Mel. I know that it's kind of a lot to take in, but that's the brief overview.
No, I think you did a great job explaining it all. Thank you so much for that. I found it really easy to follow through, and I hope our viewers also found it equally as easy. I want to touch a little bit upon, before we go into the marketing aspect of it, one of the things that gets me really excited about Unstoppable Domains is also not only being decentralized and being able to own it for such a long time, well, it's yours really forever, and being able to verify your wallets with this, but also the sense of security, right, and privacy that this allows users, because it's very, I'd say that not many people know the limited privacy you actually have and security you have with regular domains. And so maybe you can touch a little bit upon that.
Yeah, no, it's actually super crazy thinking about, because I think when you buy a domain, if I bought Zaji.com, I'm not thinking about somebody taking it away. I'm just excited that I have my website and I can build my product and my business. But in reality, there are a lot of limitations to not actually owning your domain yourself. Even little things like you have to pay renewal fees each year just to keep owning it. And we believe that blockchain domains are an asset, so they should be owned just like a cryptocurrency is owned, where you buy Bitcoin, you own the Bitcoin, So when you buy a .crypto or a .zil from us, you now own that domain for life and it's yours. We don't want to touch it. We don't want to be involved. We just want to get it in the hands of users. And there was actually recently like a situation where some domains were given to, so it was actually 2 crypto companies. I'll have to look up the exact link and send it to you, but it was 2 crypto companies in the space. Their domains were taken away by GoDaddy and given to hackers, essentially, who convinced GoDaddy that they were the right owners of the domains when it was actually supposed to go towards the company owners. And so that mishap made national headlines. And it's situations like that where if we don't give you full custody, things like that can happen. And so it's great to be able to own your domain and know that you're the only one handling it and that can't be changed by, a custody solutions company.
Well, and also, I not too long ago, it was probably like 2 or 3 months ago, I was doing I was renewing the domain for Altus, and I went through, must have been GoDaddy or one of the regular ones, and they ask for you to confirm your address, your phone number, very personal information that, and it was definitely required. It was not optional, right? And so this is something that I think more and more users are going to be looking for options like Unstoppable Domains. I mean, I think this is only the beginning for you guys. So I know you mentioned you came on early, and now you're upwards of 30 employees. That's super impressive. And clearly your marketing work has been successful. So can you share with us what the experience has been, what strategies you've seen has been more helpful? Something I'd love for you to touch upon in that response is, yesterday you and I were on the phone briefly, and I mentioned that normally blockchain companies in marketing, they look a lot at the blockchain community and space, and something that I found really interesting was that the Rutanio community has really been really strong in working with the innovation communities around the world, and really simplifying blockchain terms to facilitate adoption. So I'd love in your answer, you can speak to us a little bit about that aspect as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so it has been really exciting to be with a company from basically its early beginnings. It's something I've continuously done in my career. I always say I'm going to go work for a corporate company, and then I always end up coming back to these startups because it's just so exciting. You get involved early on, and your heart just becomes such a big part of the company, and you really care about the product once you're there from the beginning. So yes, it's been super fun. I think something that marketing, in terms of marketing, what we've been working on that has helped a lot is simplifying a lot of this onboarding process. We still have a ways to go, but I think a lot of blockchain products can be very advanced, and it's hard for a new user to come in and try them. You have to have an extensive knowledge of cryptocurrency, or you have to understand how all of this works. And so what we try to do is make it so that anybody can come in, buy a domain, and set one up. So we have extensive onboarding tutorials, we have videos, we make use of YouTube a lot. So we have YouTube videos as well as written tutorials. And I think that's a big thing in marketing within crypto, is making sure that your verbiage is very clear and your use case is clear to the user, because if you only have maybe 30 seconds at most when somebody comes to your site to capture them and to keep them there. So in those first, 10 seconds, you have to make sure that your product is clear, your use case is clear, and that the onboarding process is easy, or at least, somewhat understandable, and you have a support team there to help 24/7. So those are all things that have helped us a lot. I think also growing our community team has been really important. So what we call our community team is honestly our support team. So they are online 24/7 now. We used to only have certain hours covered, but now we have full-time people covering all time zones, so that if a user comes in and it is confused, we are able to clear up anything and help them set up their domains. You only have a short amount of time to make sure that a user doesn't get frustrated and leave and never come back. So it's all about getting those users onboarded and keeping them there, if that all makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a lot like oftentimes in the blockchain space, what I notice is the importance to focus on the user interface and user experience, right? And
Exactly.
and that to me sounds, I mean, previous to blockchain, I was in product, right, and product development and that side of things, and it sounds to me a lot like what an online e-commerce is like, right? You have X amount of time to really convey to the user the value point, the necessity, right? The pain points that they have and how that product is solving it. But with the addition of what you mentioned, the education piece, I'd say YouTube. I was actually doing research about 2 weeks ago, and I was looking at Binance, I was looking at Uniswap, I was looking at all of these companies, and I was seeing where most of their leads come from to their website. And YouTube actually has the highest conversion.
I believe that.
And has the lowest bounce rate. So
Yeah.
It makes complete sense from an education point of view, because for a very long time, crypto was kind of seen scammy, right? Especially during 2017. And so I'd say that still in some places around the world, including in Latin America, there is a little bit of fear around crypto. So that's something I wanted to ask you. What have you seen from, I know you said you have .zil and .crypto. Have you seen, you mentioned that most people gravitate towards the .crypto. Although I wonder if you've seen a little bit of a taboo, or maybe some people don't want to have .crypto at the end of their thing, and because they're worried of the that kind of look that for many years was feared upon, of looking scammy, right?
Yeah. I mean, crypto has its ups and its downs. I mean, right now with the bull market, luckily does have a lot of adoption happening right now. But I will say there's been a lot of times where people aren't trustworthy of it. And like you were saying, a lot of different countries where, maybe there's not a lot of marketing and there's not a lot of material out there for people to do research with based on their native languages, that also is a big barrier. So we've been actively trying to create different versions of the website in different languages. We have community managers that speak different languages so that we can really touch base with people from all over the world and make them feel comfortable as they onboard. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's definitely some people that don't like the .crypto option. They prefer the .zil. I think also a lot of people care about the back end. So some people really believe in Ethereum, so they love the .crypto opportunity. Some people love Zilliqa, so they like the .zil. So it's a lot of personal preference, and there have been a lot of questions of, are we going to come up with different extensions as well? We don't have anything that we're going to be doing at the moment, but there's always a possibility in the next few years that a more comfortable, more generic extension name might come up. So that's also an option as well in the future.
That's exciting. Yeah, I was curious to hear, other than the part of education that's really important in marketing and blockchain, how do you see partnerships? Because in my opinion and in my experience, partnerships really can make or break you, right? And really aligning, I mean, the fact that you guys have found sponsorship and that alignment with Ethereum, I think is rock solid. And you might be able to say a very large reason why, you guys were able to jumpstart so well. What kind of partnerships are you guys looking at? What partnerships in your marketing experience in the blockchain space are the best for certain companies?
Yeah, I think there's different types of partnerships. So we actually have different people on the team dedicated to different types of relationships. So I handle partnerships actually with a lot of content creators. So how you and I were talking about how YouTube is really powerful, I work with a lot of YouTubers to help create Unstoppable Domains content through their channels. And we've found that this has been really successful in onboarding new users because people watch these YouTubers and they totally trust them. They believe in everything that they're sharing. So we've found that if a YouTuber believes in Unstoppable Domains and they share that with their community, there's a high likelihood of conversion from the community to join our product and try it out. So that's a lot of the partnerships I handle. And then we have other team members who handle more so like business partnerships. And so I'd say for us, the biggest thing is talking to wallets. Wallets happen to be our biggest partner because that gives us access to new users, right? So as long as a wallet like Trust Wallet or Coinbase Wallet supports us, then users can actually go in there and type in .crypto domains and send using those wallets. So another one. And then I would say just like conferences, like event type partnerships. Like things where I miss meeting people in real life, but events and things like that where you have your name and your brands be shared with the world. I think that those bring a lot of validity to companies as well. I think the crypto space is so interesting because it is so like heavily centered on partnerships. If you don't work with the right companies and you don't know where you stand in the space, it's easy to get lost. So I do think it's really important for blockchain companies and crypto companies to understand where they lie within, the whole partnerships world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things I'd love to get from your perspective is coming into blockchain. I know you mentioned that there are times where you're like, I'm going to go corporate. And then you're like, I can't. I love the early stage startup too much. What has been your experience? Because eres colombiana and you are a woman. What has been your experience growing in the space in blockchain? And not that I know that you're also one of the leaders in Meta Gamma Delta, and so I'd like to touch upon that aspect as well.
Yeah, I think it's been a really an eye-opening experience. And I also think I've been lucky to have a lot of great relationships in the space that have continued me to stay in it and to keep pushing. But it is a little scary. Like when I first joined my first startup in 2016, I was the only female at first. that was with the team. And we ended up hiring more women, but I was one of the first women on the team. And same with Unstoppable Domains. I mean, since then, both teams have grown and gotten way more diversity, which is awesome. And, now we're like a pretty balanced team here at Unstoppable Domains. But being one of the first has been like a common thing that I've seen. So that's been a little intimidating. But I've just had to realize that it doesn't matter. You have to ask questions, share your opinion, have your voice, and know that your opinion matters. I mean, you're in the room with everyone else, so you clearly have just as much clout as they do, and you should feel comfortable voicing your opinion. So that's been something that has been interesting to overcome and to learn. And but I think it's been fun, and I think it's brought a lot of new challenges. And then, like you were mentioning, I recently this year joined Meta Gamma Delta, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. I know I'm throwing a lot of crypto words out there.
I know.
People will Google this if they don't know what I'm talking about, but a DAO
for short.
DAO for short. It's a decentralized group where you can join and you can have whatever purpose you want for that group. So our group, and Mel is a member as well, is focusing on empowering women in the blockchain space to grow and have their voice heard. So yeah, I think like things like that have really helped me feel more comfortable in the space. But I have been super lucky to work with fantastic individuals who have always been kind to me and encouraged me to continue working hard and feel comfortable. So I think that's all helped a lot.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah. And, I definitely agree with you. That's been a lot of my experience as well. And hopefully soon, I know we have to talk some more about this, but, for those listening in Latin America, maybe soon we'll have a Meta Gamma Delta Latinas working on that.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to touch upon is also, speaking of marketing and speaking of women and speaking of Latinos, in Coinbase, I don't know if you saw the recent news, Coinbase is a little bit under heat right now. Coinbase is one of the largest companies and most well-known companies in the blockchain crypto space, and they've gotten some heat because, unfortunately, some of their employees, especially their Black employees, have felt large discrimination in the workspace. And so this is something where in the last year, we've seen a lot of push between different companies to show that they are, working on inclusivity in their workforce and inclusivity in their users as well. So from a marketing standpoint, how I often get into these kind of conversations with people who sometimes when a company talks about putting a little bit more effort or focus on attracting, let's say, female traders or female developers or minority traders, minority developers, there's often the kind of pushback of, well, we don't want someone else to feel not included or someone else to feel like this isn't for them if we're giving someone a little bit more of a special attention. And so I'm curious, from your marketing perspective and background, what do you think of these kinds of angles?
Yeah, I think what we've always been emphasizing at Unstoppable Domains is hiring somebody that qualifies best, but still making sure that there's an opportunity for anyone to apply. So we try to put our applications out in a bunch of different platforms, right? So LinkedIn, Facebook, we have our own website where we host our positions that are available, and then I actively share them within groups like Meta Gamma Delta, women in blockchain groups, Latinas in blockchain, like any group I'm in, I try to share them in all these different platforms so that there's equal opportunity for everyone to apply. And then I think at a later date we hire who we think is best for the position. But I do think that it's important to make the positions available to everyone. That basically encourages that there's equal opportunity for everyone to apply and to have an opportunity to join the space. And I think another thing that's really important is if you are in a position of power, if you will, whether you are a C-suite executive or a higher level person at a company and you are maybe a minority, it's important to share your voice. So I think get yourself out there, start a Twitter account, have maybe have a newsletter, have a blog, start sharing your own opinion, because if people see that you've made it, they're going to feel more comfortable and empowered to apply to companies and try to join the space as well. I think that for me has been the biggest thing that has pushed me forward, is seeing other amazing, successful women, and specifically Latinas in the space grow. And that's encouraged me to keep growing as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that also, just joining, what I've always experienced and has been really helpful for me overall has been just joining hands and walking down that road together. And when someone wins, everyone wins, right? It's a community effort. And I think that in this world of decentralization, that's really possible, right? So, but also I wanted, I'm not sure if you just touched upon this from a user's perspective. Do you think companies should, kind of push across different initiatives to involve, certain minority users or this kind of thing? Or do you think that the idea of people can be left out is a little too risky?
No, I mean, I definitely think that it's important to think about the types of users that you're onboarding. And I think no product can be successful if it's only targeting one type of person. That does not bring adoption. That does not bring, great usage to your product. So as a marketer and as somebody working on a very new product in this space, I think that we're constantly thinking of ways to bring in different types of people, of different genders, of different backgrounds, of different races and different languages, so that we can get different perspectives and understand what the world wants for domains and what would make this product better for everyone to use. I think also even something to consider is age. I mean, crypto is a very hard thing to use. So you want to make sure your grandma can use it. I know people always say that, but it's true. You want to know that every type of person is able to try out your product and at the very least understand what it is and be interested in trying it.
What's the unstoppable domain explanation for a grandma?
It is like a .com. I mean, that's really it. You just want to bring .coms to the future of the web, and we're just building something that's a little more innovative than .coms, and it allows for payments as well as websites to all come through one access point. I hope that grandma can understand that.
I think so. I think my grandma would understand. And what areas, geographic areas, have you seen most interest from with unstoppable domains?
We mainly US in the beginning, of course. We are a US-based team, so I think that just naturally happens based on people that are building the product. And then we saw a lot of influx from South America, actually. So we have a lot of Latinx users, which is really exciting. That was the first language that we expanded to in terms of hiring for community managers. And then we saw a lot of Mandarin speakers as well with interest. So we have a Mandarin version of our website as well. And I think that that's helped us start to onboard some Asia-based users, but we definitely have a long ways to go. We want to tap into Russia a bit more, and we want to tap into different European countries a bit more. So I think we have a lot of work to do, but those are kind of where the access points have started.
That's super awesome. Yeah, I didn't expect Russia, but wow. I definitely...
We have a lot of our team based in Ukraine, actually. So we have the ability to continue working on that side of things.
No, and that makes sense, because I actually was watching a documentary the other day of the tech that is going on currently in Russia, and wow, super advanced. So it would make sense for Unstoppable to be looking at that. And what do you see down the road for Unstoppable?
I think that we'll be seeing a lot of support from browsers, which will open up main adoption. Right now, a big issue that we have is that if you launch a decentralized website, you still have to use an extension to view it. And so once browsers start supporting us natively, and you can just go in and type in, malvera.crypto into Google Chrome or whatever you're using, I think that will make everything a lot easier. So that's a big thing that we're excited about and we're actively working on. And then another is just trying to expand with new wallets. So I think the more wallets that support us, the better, because then all those users have access to domains and being able to simplify their crypto payments. So those are the two big things.
And for those who are a part of the Rutanio community and ecosystem, like I said, just many are innovators, entrepreneurs, consultants, designers, that, you know, are new to blockchain and are watching this and are like, ooh, I want to get myself a domain. I want to own my domain for a long time. What can they do? And also, do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I would recommend that they go ahead and give it a try and try using our templates. We have some templates that people can use if they're not technical, so that they can launch these decentralized websites themselves. And they can have one for their identity, right? So maybe they want to have a contractor's site up. They want to have a site that lists themselves as available for hire. I think that these are all great things that you can do. And then, you know, we're also hiring. So if anybody wants to apply to some of the positions we have, please do give it a go. We're always looking for talented individuals. And then I did see that question pop up. Should I go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, please. So I'm going to read it out loud. Basically, so Najib says, the concept of wallets connected with domains for payments is definitely an awesome idea, especially for early adoption. Would this jeopardize the pseudo-anonymity of payments?
So it's really up to you what domain you buy, right? So you don't have to buy melvera.crypto. You could buy like, you know, dinosaur.crypto. You can buy something that's anonymous and you can set up some sort of anonymous identity. So I think it's really up to you what domain you own and how you want to play it. This is the cool thing about blockchain domains is it's all specialized and personalized to you. So it's similar to a Venmo name, a PayPal name, it's whatever you want it to be and however you want to be identified. We do not offer stealth payments. So all payments are still trackable on the blockchain. Everything is the same way it would be when you send payments using an ETH address or a Bitcoin address. Everything is still trackable. So it's up to you what addresses you associate with your domain. If you want this to be a completely anonymous domain, pick an anonymous name and pick a brand new wallet that has never been used so that all your payments are brand new. If you want it to be specific to you, then buy your domain and specialize it for yourself.
I wonder if Anonymous has created an anonymous.crypto account. That would be super cool.
That would be good. I don't know. I'll have to check if that's taken.
That would be really, really cool. Zayi, I would love to know if you have any book recommendations for our community.
Yeah, I actually have one that I really recommend. It's called Getting More by Stuart Diamond. And this is a book on negotiations. So this I thought was specifically good for Rutanio because it's people that are doing a lot of contracted work, a lot of, you know, contract and case by case work. So you're constantly trying to negotiate your prices. You're probably figuring out how you should market yourself, where you should live in terms of price range for being contracted for a job. So I think that negotiations are some of the most important things you could learn as a skill. You want to make sure that you're being priced fairly and you're getting your value for your work that you're doing. So I always suggest books like this when people ask me. I think that those have been skills that I have gained that I really appreciate.
That's awesome. I'm going to pick up that book. And actually, we have one more question. It seems like it's a follow-up question from Najib. And he says, does that mean that you can associate or rotate the address associated with a domain?
Yes. You can choose which address you have associated with your domains, and you can change them at any time. So today it can be an ETH address from Trust Wallet, and tomorrow I can change it to an ETH address from Coinbase. It's just up to you. And whenever people go to pay you, it will route directly to that address. So just make sure it's an address that you definitely want money going to.
And I actually have one more question. In the different users that you've seen, what has been the biggest bottleneck for users to come on that you've noticed?
I would say it's right at the beginning is understanding that the domain acts as a NFT token so that you have to actually store it in a wallet. Sometimes people don't grasp that concept, and so we have to get them onboarded by helping them set up like a MetaMask, for example, where they then store the domain and then it lives there. So making sure that they understand that they now own it. We can't touch it. It's self-custody. So if you lose your private keys, you lose the domain. So it's kind of like that onboarding process. That's a little wonky, but we're still working on it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I think that these kinds of bottlenecks are the type that most blockchain companies face. So it's not that specific to you guys. But I think surely we'll get there soon in the blockchain space where hopefully one day we don't need to tell everyone, do not share your private keys or lose them. This is something that, we'll all know. And I actually also am curious if you guys are looking at partnering with DEXs. For those who are listening who don't know what a DEX is, it's a decentralized exchange, and then there are also centralized exchanges. So Coinbase, for example, centralized exchange. Uniswap, Objective Protocol, decentralized exchange. So are you guys looking at, or do you have any preference in those?
I don't know that we specifically have a preference, but we are definitely looking at both. And I would say anywhere where a domain could be used, so any place where payments are being routed through or where websites are being hosted, anything like that, we can definitely work with them so that their users can get access to domains and make payments a lot simpler. So exchanges and DEXs, whether they're private or not, both have this issue. So I think we're open to either.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Zayi, if you have any last thoughts or comments you want to share, I'd say this is a time for it.
Yeah, I would just say, it's really awesome talking to a group that is specifically based out of Colombia and working on blockchain. These are like the two things I love in my life. So it's exciting to see them come together. I really hope that all of you know that your voice matters, your opinion matters, and you should get out there and share your voice with the world because everybody is excited to hear it. And you, even if you don't realize, you can contribute something to each conversation you have. So that's what I would share. And please do get in touch if you have more questions about unstoppable domains, hiring, or just what we're doing.
Thank you so much, Zayi. I really appreciate it. And I know that the community is probably already going on unstoppable domains and making a domain. You mentioned that if anyone wanted to make a domain to email you, right? Could you just repeat that email one more time?
Yeah, anybody can email me at Zayi, Z-A-Y-I, at unstoppabledomains.com, and I would be happy to answer questions or route you to the right person if I can't answer them for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zayi. I hope you have a lovely night, and thank you so much to our viewers. This has been an amazing tech talk with Zayi from Unstoppable Domains. We hope you all have a lovely night or morning, wherever you are in the world.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.